All 5 Star Trek TNG episodes written by Melinda M. Snodgrass ranked worst to best science fiction author. Melinda M. Snodgrass wrote 5 episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Following the adventures of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, and the USS Enterprise D, TNG told mostly episodic stories with plotlines spanning only a single episode. Because of this format, many different screenwriters wrote episodes of TNG over the years, and some were more prolific than others. Although Snodgrass did not contribute as many episodes as other writers, only one of her stories failed to translate well on screen. After the 1988 Writers Guild of America strike, Paramount, the studio behind Star Trek: The Next Generation, was looking for new scripts for the show's second season. In their search, they came upon Melinda Snodgrass's non-commissioned spec script that would eventually become TNG's classic, The Measure of a Man. Snodgrass's previous experience as a lawyer helped her craft a phenomenal courtroom episode widely regarded as one of Star Trek's best stories. Thanks to the success of The Measure of a Man, Snodgrass was asked to join the writing staff of Star Trek: The Next Generation, serving as a story editor and script consultant. Here are Snodgrass's TNG episodes ranked worst to best. When the USS Enterprise receives a distress call from the planet Bringloid, they discover a colony of primitive human farmers descended from an old Earth freighter. Led by Danilo O'Dell, Barry Ingham, and his daughter Brenna, Rosalind Lander, these colonists clash with the 24th century Enterprise crew members. While there are some humorous moments throughout Star Trek: The Next Generation's Up the Long Ladder, the colonists are outdated Irish stereotypes even by 1980s standards. The Enterprise also encounters another colony that developed from the same Earthship, but these colonists have kept their advanced technology and resorted to cloning to continue their line. In the end, the two colonies merge, but the message of acceptance and tolerance gets lost a bit in the execution. According to Star Trek: The Next Generation companion, Melinda Snodgrass intended the episode to be a commentary on immigration, but she admits that rewrites and budget constraints diluted the message. When the USS Enterprise D delivers medical supplies to the war-torn planet of Rusha 4, Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden, is kidnapped by terrorists. Crusher refuses to cooperate, even when confronted by the terrorist leader, Kirill Finn, Richard Cox. As Commander William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, works with the Russian security forces to locate Dr. Crusher, Beverly begins to sympathize with Finn and his cause. Dr. Crusher is at her most profoundly compassionate in the high ground, proving why she's one of Star Trek's best doctors. She does not support the terrorist actions, but she comes to understand why they believe in their cause. Not only is The High Ground one of Dr. Crusher's best TNG episodes, but it's also the first Star Trek episode to be both written and directed by women. It's a solid story that explores what terrorism does to people, from the perspective of the terrorists themselves and the ones fighting against them. Melinda Snodgrass penned 3 excellent episodes centered on LT Commander Data, Brent Spiner, including Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 3's The Ensigns of Command. When the Starship Enterprise receives a message from the mysterious and powerful Shockng, they must find a way to evacuate a planet full of colonists. The Shockng threaten to exterminate the colonists if they are not removed, and Data beams down to the planet to convince them to leave. Melinda M. Snodgrass is one of the most significant writers in Star Trek: The Next Generation, TNG, known for penning some of the most thought-provoking and character-driven episodes. She contributed 5 episodes that each stand out for different reasons, ranging from legal drama to social commentary. Let's rank these episodes from worst to best, examining how each contributes to the legacy of Star Trek: TNG. 5. The Ensigns of Command, Season 3, Episode 2. The Ensigns of Command centers on Data, the beloved android officer, and his struggle to evacuate a group of human colonists from a planet that's about to fall under the jurisdiction of the powerful Shockng, a species that does not tolerate human life. Data's challenge is not just technical but emotional. He must persuade the stubborn colonists to leave against their will. This episode highlights the tension between logic and emotion, which is always at the core of Data's journey. While the episode is well-structured and showcases Data's growth, it ranks lower in comparison to Snodgrass's other contributions because it lacks the same thematic depth. The human colony subplot doesn't carry the emotional weight needed to fully elevate it, and some of the supporting characters come off as flat. Still, it's a solid episode that underscores Data's role as an outsider trying to understand humanity. 4. The High Ground, Season 3, Episode 12. The High Ground is a daring episode that tackles the complex issue of terrorism, a subject rarely explored in mainstream television in the 1990s. The plot centers around Dr. Crusher being kidnapped by a separatist group on the planet Rusha 4, who are fighting for independence. The episode raises moral questions about the use of violence to achieve political goals, a theme that resonates with global political issues even today. What makes this episode stand out is its willingness to dive into murky moral waters, refusing to give easy answers. However, despite its ambitious premise, The High Ground can feel heavy-handed at times, particularly when it comes to its portrayal of the Russian conflict. The pacing drags in spots, and while the episode is thematically bold, its execution doesn't always hit the mark. Nonetheless, the conversations between Picard and the terrorist leader Kirill Finn offer a thoughtful exploration of the nature of conflict, making it a memorable but uneven episode. 3. Up the Long Ladder, Season 2, Episode 18. Up the Long Ladder is one of the more controversial episodes in Snodgrass's repertoire due to its unusual mix of comedy, social commentary, and cultural stereotypes. The episode follows the Enterprise as it encounters two separate groups of colonists, one who has clung to old-fashioned agrarian lifestyles, and another who resorted to cloning to survive. These two communities are forced to confront each other's values in order to ensure their mutual survival. The episode explores the dangers of stagnation, whether cultural or scientific, and the necessity of compromise for the greater good. What makes Up the Long Ladder notable is its willingness to tackle cloning, genetic diversity, and the rights of individuals, all in one narrative. However, the episode's treatment of Irish stereotypes has been criticized as simplistic and dated. While it grapples with intriguing ethical questions, the tonal shifts between humor and drama can be jarring, preventing it from reaching its full potential. 2. The Measure of a Man, Season 2, Episode 9. Widely considered one of the finest episodes in Star Trek history, The Measure of a Man is a courtroom drama that puts Data's sentience on trial. The story kicks off when Starfleet orders Data to submit to a dangerous experiment that could dismantle him. When Data refuses, Captain Picard is forced to defend his rights as a sentient being, while Commander Riker must argue against his friend, stating that Data is Starfleet's property. What elevates The Measure of a Man is its philosophical depth. It explores themes of identity, personhood, and the nature of consciousness in a way that challenges viewers to think about what it truly means to be alive. Picard's impassioned defense of Data's rights is some of Patrick Stewart's finest acting, while the emotional toll on Riker is palpable. The stakes feel real and deeply personal for the characters involved. Snodgrass masterfully balances the episode's legal structure with ethical questions, making it not only a riveting courtroom drama, but also a profound exploration of human and android rights. This episode is a quintessential example of Star Trek at its best. Speculative fiction that examines the human condition through the lens of science fiction. 1. The Offspring, Season 3, Episode 16, ranking just above The Measure of a Man is The Offspring, which Snodgrass co-wrote with Renee Echevarria. This emotional episode sees Data create his own android child, Lal, whom he hopes will grow and learn about humanity in the same way he has. However, when Starfleet Command becomes involved, Lal's existence becomes threatened, leading to tragic consequences.